Hi, everyone. Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. I hope you're doing well. And it's time to talk about, yes, the current state of rock. Rock music, yeah! That pure, uncut, Green Day father of all type rock, bro. Yeah, we have like weird mirrored quotes that came out this past weekend. One from the legendary alternative rock and punk outfit, The Hives. Man, that hate to say I told you so era was mint. So many bangers came out of that era. Excellent records. But also, Damon Albarn of Blur and Gorillaz fame had something similar to say as well. Both Damon and The Hives stated that Arctic Monkeys, pretty much like only good mainstream rock band these days, and the last good, truly good guitar band, which, wow, okay, weird, interesting, odd that you would say that. Number one, not only because, like, when was the last time Arctic Monkeys put out a proper rock record? Because the last two albums have been like this weird, loungy, art pop schlop, which, you know, not to be too mean or dismissive, but it's certainly not rock music. It doesn't make me want to rock. And I mean, the last record that I could call a rock album in their discography, AM, yeah, sure, it's one of the more beloved releases in their catalog, but that album doesn't really make me want to rock either. That record as well, I think, was super underwhelming, and, you know, it has gained some critical acclaim over the years, but that may be due in part to the fact that, you know, it was kind of the band's last real ass rock album. But look, I love the band's old stuff. The debut Arctic Monkeys record is killer and is one of the best debuts of any rock band from the 2000s, but the idea that, like, no actual other good rock albums have broke or like put out just as good releases, if not better releases since, and have had, like, you know, some mainstream attention too. Like, I could literally spend this whole video listing albums and artists forever. But in order to, I guess, kind of keep things at a normal length of time here, just in recent memory, Paramore just came out with a new album. This is why. This record was not, you know, your typical squeaky clean emo pop rock affair from the band. It's, you know, actually quite fiery and edgy at points, a little post-punky too, a big block party influence on numerous tracks, millions of listeners per month on streaming platforms, and on top of that, they're going to be performing with Taylor Swift. They're getting the Taylor Swift bump. I mean, I know rock music these days isn't as commercially viable as it was at one point, but you can't tell me that, like, Arctic Monkeys are like the last interesting thing to happen in rock music when, like, Paramore is literally out here killing it in a way that appeals to not just mainstream listeners, but people who actually kind of like alternative rock too. There's Paramore, there's Foo Fighters, who had a really nice, solid, recent record. I mean, I know they debuted long before Arctic Monkeys, but they're still kicking and doing their thing. While I know they may not be the most mainstream example, there's also King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, which, I don't know, could you consider yourself a true blue rock fan in the 2020s if you're not listening to this band? They're one of the best out there in terms of progressive rock, psych, garage, super prolific, super consistent, and without a doubt more interesting than anything Arctic Monkeys have put on their last couple of records, and debatably more creative and daring considering all the stylistic bases that King Gizzard has covered over the course of their catalog so far. And sure, while Jack Antonoff may have sort of, you know, commandeered the sound of the latest 1975 record a little bit, you know, that's a fairly decent rock album that came out as of late. In the 1975, I don't think they're a horrible band. They're not exactly revolutionizing guitar music or anything like that, but, like, neither did Arctic Monkeys. What criteria we're using to apply to them the last good guitar band, the last good rock band that came out, I don't know. For the experimental heads and people who want something weird, kind of thrilling, there's Black Midi. Their catalog as of late has been sounding more interesting and just better with each release. I mean, you know, lots of people would probably think up until the point where they broke, yeah, there's nothing really, you know, kind of new or interesting or experimental going on in rock music. No, Black Midi is certainly one of those bands that, you know, beats that allegation. New record from the band Geese, 3D Country, have not been able to put that album down for a while, and they have almost like a throwback kind of dad rock sound. So if you're looking for a new band, vintage sound, that's out there too. And, artists who are legit vets at this point, such as, Keith Morris and Off, their record is a really cool combination of hardcore punk, heavy psych, experimental rock as well. A lot of conceptual and conspiratorial songs on this free LSD record. Look, there's a lot of great rock music out there right now. You just gotta go freaking listen to it. You gotta listen to it. You gotta look for it. You gotta seek it out. Again, rock music may not be where it was commercially decades and decades ago at this point, but in my opinion, as somebody who was a longtime fan of, many genres of music, but rock as well, I'm not hearing any lack of interesting content. Maybe there's a lack of interest from the general music audience, but again, there's not a lack of interesting rock. It's there. And it's stuff that, in my opinion, is just as good, if not better or more exciting than what the Arctic Monkeys were bringing when they broke onto the scene over a decade ago. I mean, I would certainly much rather listen to a Black Midi album than the record they literally came out with a decade ago. So, yeah, man, I don't know. I certainly am looking forward to the new Hives album because the latest singles from that have rocked, have been fantastic. And Damon Albarn, I think, continues to be like a really awesome creative producer and, continually puts out good stuff, be it through Blur, be it through Gorillaz. But when it comes to like their view of what is currently happening in this genre, I don't know. I feel like these comments come across a little out of touch because it's not like the youth have abandoned rock music entirely or that there isn't any good rock music hitting the mainstream at all. There is. And if it's something that you want to hear, you just have to like go looking for it and stuff. So I don't know. There you go. Those are my thoughts on that. Let me know what you guys think. What are some of the best rock bands that have dropped over the past 10 years that have broke? Newer bands, younger bands, bands doing interesting and groundbreaking stuff, bands in the mainstream or maybe in the underground that have mainstream potential. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Over here next to my head is another video you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, rock music forever.